This happened nearly 10 years ago, back when I worked the night shift at a hospital in a quiet corner of Luxembourg. But this hospital wasn't like most. It was a place where people came to wait for their final moments. Elderly patients, fragile, silent, lay in their beds as if suspended between life and something else, something colder. That night, I was on duty with my closest colleague and friend, Mark. We had a rhythm, he and I. The night shifts were long, but together we worked like two calm guardians in a place filled with quiet goodbyes. Imagine this, 120 patients scattered across dimly lit wards, and just the two of us, covering the entire hospital. Some patients could still eat or sit up, but most had surrendered to time. The building always held a strange hush, but that particular night, it felt different. Heavy, like something was watching. Our most crucial rounds happened between 3 and 5:30 in the morning, that deep, eerie window of time when silence is at its thickest. We'd check vitals, give out meds, change linens, hydrate patients. That night, only 2 wards remained. And as we stepped into the second ward, we heard something. A voice, a woman's voice. Loud, but oddly distorted, like tuning into an old radio channel that can't quite lock onto a signal. The words were unclear, warped by static. I whispered, "Mark, do you hear that?" He stopped, tilted his head, frowning slightly. "That's not a television. It sounds like interference. But no one here has the strength to turn anything on." The voice seemed close, too close, like someone was whispering into our ears. But we were alone in the hallway. Mark's face turned pale. "It's coming from behind us," he said. I nodded. My heart was pounding. "Let's finish quickly," I said, more to steady myself than anything. We continued our round in silence, and just as suddenly as it had started, the voice faded, vanishing into the thick hospital air. I brushed it off. Maybe I was exhausted, maybe it was a trick of the mind. But then, out of nowhere, I stopped and said, "We have to check downstairs. I think Miss Lott has passed away." Mark stared at me. "What? That's not possible. I saw her just an hour ago. She was sleeping." I met his eyes. I saw something walk past us in the hallway. A woman in white, and I swear it was her, but not her, her spirit. Despite the confusion, Mark didn't question me. He followed. When we arrived at Miss Lott's room, the atmosphere had changed. The room wasn't just silent, it was peaceful, still. She lay in her bed, hands folded gently, a faint trace of a smile on her lips. Her body was still warm, it had only been minutes. We called the on-call doctor to confirm the death, then prepared her for transfer. We washed her gently, dressed her in one of her favorite nightgowns. I didn't speak. But Mark, he couldn't stop. He kept asking, "How did you know? What did you see? What did you feel?" And I had no words, only a deep, strange certainty. When I finally got home that morning, I collapsed into bed. I wasn't afraid, just thoughtful. Quiet, I drifted into a deep sleep. And then I dreamt of her. Miss Lotte. But not frail, not old. She looked young, radiant, smiling, surrounded by soft white light like a gentle fog. She walked up to me and whispered, "Thank you, my child, for everything. You cared for me when no one else could. Now I must go." Later, when I thought back to that eerie voice in the hallway, that warped, ghostly whisper, I realized something. That was no random sound. It wasn't fatigue or delusion. It was her. It was an EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, a final ripple of her soul breaking through the veil as she prepared to cross over.